Love TV? Then meet Philo. Philo is live TV on your commute home. And once you get there. Philo is catching up on favorite shows in the wee hours of the morning. Or the wee hours of the morning.
Hi, Nee.
Thanks,
Hi,
Rita.
welcome to Black in America. I'm super excited to have you both this afternoon to talk about Philo and all its new gettings. It's a fairly new streaming service. You guys just partner with Chrome TV Cast. Am I saying that right? Am I getting that right? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you.
You
Yeah,
guys
we just partnered with.
Google Chrome Cast. Am I saying it right? I feel like I'm saying it wrong.
Yes, that's correct. So Google has the Chromecast device, which was one of the early streaming sticks that were out there. We are already available on Roku and Fire TV and Apple TV and a lot of the most popular devices, and that was sort of the next most requested device from our subscribers. So we are very happy to announce that we have launched that. A lot of Android mobile phone users in particular look at Chromecast as a way to connect to their bigger screen.
I am definitely an Android person, and I'm super excited actually about Chrome. I've been following Philo and its evolution, and super excited about what Philo has to offer. How does Philo, separate itself from so many of the other streaming platforms that are out there now? You have.
Yeah, so, I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry, Reed. Nee.
There are a number of ways I think we differentiate. Obviously, we are over-the-top streaming television service with live TV, there's a fairly small pool of companies that are doing that at all. Something as a consideration for people who may no longer be in love with cable and these very expensive large packages and want to really focus on the content that means something to them and only pay for that. But in another way, even the services in our space often focus on sports and news and broadcast television, which ends up driving a lot of the price. And there's a lot of people who want that. But as was made clear by the pandemic, sometimes sports are not the most important thing. And this time they haven't even been available. So what Philo focuses on is more the entertainment side of the traditional cable programming that people like. So we have channels like A&E, AMC, Discovery, Viacom, which carries the Nickelodeons of the world and the MTVs and VH1s, BET, things of that nature. We've really built our package around that type of content. So more of the unscripted type of stuff, although we do have, series like Walking Dead and things of that nature that are really more entertainment focused. And so Philo's really about value in terms of a $20 price point where you get all these channels and a fully featured product, plus a package that you can really complement with other things. So if you have Netflix or any of these Disney Plus services and things like that are coming out, it seems like one a month these days, Philo is a good complement to add to whatever your perfect TV package is.
So with adding TV One and BET, we know the streaming space has really been an opportunity for diversity. Is that part of the big message with Philo as well, to have a space for, African American creatives to have a voice? Because we talk a lot about diversity and inclusion, having opportunity in the television and film space, having a healthy narrative out there, so is Philo a part of that as well? Getting that conversation out there about diversity and inclusion with adding TV One and BET to your service?
Yeah, I think it's a core part of our business overall, even before the national conversation around racial and social justice has really put things in the forefront.
I like that you're saying that.
Yeah, it's been important to us. We have found that our niche or a strong area where we are is serving some communities that have traditionally been under focused on by a lot of the major companies. So we do extremely well with women generally. We skew a little bit more towards women, while a lot of the other services skew male because of the heavy sports focus. So that's one area where we focus. We do very well among African Americans and people who enjoy African American perspectives. So, about a quarter of our user base identifies as Black, as an example. And so it's already a big part of who we are. And as we have built the service, we pay a lot of attention to what people are requesting and what they're watching, and all of those things align. So we had already had on our roadmap, like BET does very well for, as you mentioned, and TV One was a very logical way for us to progress in terms of serving the audiences that really get a lot out of Philo. And so as this conversation has risen in terms of the national conversation, I think it's important for us to accelerate what we're doing in those areas and being able to tap into and be even more aggressive about going after those perspectives and voices to include it in the service that we offer.
Now, is it difficult to get a license for shows that already have an exclusive license to a streaming services that's owned by the same company that owns a show that themselves? Do you understand what I'm saying?
You have an example?
Yeah, like for example, Friends, which is owned by Warner Brothers, which is on Netflix. But, Netflix is owned by Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers has a streaming service.
Yeah, Reed, you might have a perspective on this. I think that's going to get more and more dicey, but I'll let Reed.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that, content always gets licensed with windows to different things. So while Friends may be, have an exclusive streaming license, it also has a TV license where, it runs on, I think, Nick at Night and some of the other Viacom channels for us. So even if you don't have the streaming service that has Friends or even some of these other licensed shows, you can actually, if you just set up your DVR on Philo to record them, you'll have episodes piling up, in your 30-day unlimited DVR just to watch all the time. So if you want to watch The Office, and not on Netflix, it's on Comedy Central. You can watch, you can set your DVR and they can have it there. Most of the content we have is licensed through our programming partners. So, MTV, or Paramount Network or Discovery, they'll license content or produce content their own. So it has different sort of windows. Some of it, we're typically writing on the broadcast license, that window for the cable broadcast window. We don't do a whole lot of exclusive licensing of content ourselves. We're more, linear television. So, there's not necessarily so much of a large, unique VOD library out there. We're relying on some of our partners on the, the broadcasters to really be able to license that content. Although we're looking at other ways to find content we can use.
Okay. My next question is, just in terms of the streaming services being a new space and quote a safe space for new creatives, do you find now that given that the platform it's almost beginning to become saturated now, is it now taking on the face of television, something that everybody was trying to get away from? And now it kind of seems like, there are all these new rules and guidelines that's happening with the streaming services that's mimicking what happened in television, which was the reason why people were trying to get away from television.
Well, I think, I'll take this and then you hop in, but I think a lot of what people were trying to get away from is as cable added more and more channels, the prices went up for what people weren't watching. So you would have a package that might have 500, channels and you're paying $150 or something for that. That's where people were like, I don't want that. But I think people still love television. People, it's just being able to find the television you want. It's one of the reasons why we have this stream down, package that's slim and entertainment focused. That way you can add other services, as Neil was saying, like Disney Plus Philo, then you're paying, $20 for Philo, $6 for Disney Plus. You want to have kids programs, well, you have the Disney library plus all the Nickelodeon shows and things we have. So I think it's more about, I think people still love television. I mean, I know I do. Of course, I work in television, so that makes sense.
I absolutely do. This question is for Nini. I just found out, too, that you are from my neck of the woods, or you attended college in my neck of the woods. I'm from Chester, PA. You attended
Okay, I was born in Chester.
I'm sorry?
I was born in Chester.
Oh, so was I.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Wow, my Chester brother. This has become a very special interview for me now. Wow. I was born at Crozier Chester Medical Center and attended Chester High School. Yep. So, Nee, do you think that the movie theater experience is going to become, obsolete given the climate that we're in now with COVID-19? and the streaming services that are now truly taking up space in terms of how audiences are now consuming content.
Sure, and I do want to pass this to Reed because he's our resident movie buff in the office, but I do believe it's going to disrupt the traditional film window in particular. So what we have come to expect is that, you know, when a movie comes out in the theaters, you have to wait 3-4 months before then you can then, you know, rent it on streaming and things of that nature. Being a parent myself, I don't get to the movies that often, so that really frustrates me. And I think in the pandemic, for the first time ever, you've seen a willingness from the theater chains, who obviously have a lot of revenue tied up in that window, being more willing to shorten it because people aren't going to the theaters at all. Now, hopefully, we're going to be returning to some sort of normalcy where people will be able to go to theaters. That said, I do believe there has been a lot of pent-up demand for sort of shortening that window and having people watch at home, and there's ways for them to sort of make up that revenue. I certainly would pay $30 to see some of these summer blockbusters that were supposed to come out but have been delayed, to watch it in my house. And so I do believe there's going to be a shift. I don't think it's going to be a complete elimination. And you've also seen streaming services like Netflix and others challenge that model where they're releasing things on their platform almost at the same time that they're going to theaters. So it's a change that's long overdue, but I'm very curious about Reed's perspective.
Yeah, it also impacts the landscape of award season and what television shows and films, you know, should be nominated for, you know, Emmys or Academy Awards. It's going to be very interesting to see what the future looks like. Reed, you want to get in on this?
Yeah, the thing, I miss the movies terribly. It's the one thing that I miss the most, and it's that shared experience. You know, I long ago bought a large TV and can crank up the volume, but being in the audience, you know, where you're all laughing at something together in the dark, or you're all crying at something together in the dark, or just feel there's that electricity that you get by being in the theater that, you know, you don't get at home when you can just hit pause or check your phone or something. It's that being locked into looking at the screen and having to pay attention, and then feeling the electricity of the audience around you and what people are feeling. That's, you know, that's actually something I've lived for and that I miss so much.
I miss that, Reed. It's so interesting that you say that. I was speaking with a colleague a few days ago, and we were speaking about how, you know, as journalists, you know, we are just a part of our life is going to the movies, going to private screenings. And, you know, we have these collective experiences together where we'll go to a screening and there's all this chitter chatter on the way in. And then on the way out, we're either speechless because the movie has just moved us to just complete silence, or we have so much to say, you know, and those are experiences that we share as colleagues. And, you know, I miss that so much. Nee, what are you streaming right now? Like, what are you watching right now at home during COVID-19?
Oh, yeah. I honestly haven't had a lot of time to watch TV when I'm balancing childcare with work and everything else. I've been spending more time reading, but the sports have kicked back up. I'm a big basketball fan, so I do watch that. And then, you know, Philo in particular has a deep library of content that I've been catching up on. I'm into Yellowstone, which is a show on Paramount that has Kevin Costner in it. That's pretty exciting, and this is a new show that's been out. And then I tend to watch a lot of reality shows as well, so I do fill some of my time up with that.
Okay. What about you, Reed?
Yeah, I've been trying to find things to binge that I hadn't seen, but you know, before, and also watching things like The Daily Show. You know, things that you can sort of give us a little bit of a break that, you know, also sort of addresses what's going on right now.
I love this. Gentlemen, that about takes up all the time that I have to chat with you today. I want to thank you so much for stopping by to speak with me at Black in America. I'm super excited about everything that Philo is doing, and I just can't wait to see what's coming down the pipeline for both of you with Philo.
Thank you very much for your time, Tanisha.
Philo is for SpongeBobbing and for escaping from reality, or getting more of it. Philo is party time or quiet time, solo discovery and shared adventures. Philo is TV for everyone.